pass is caught. That's going to be a first down for the Ravens. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and the crowd goes wild.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're back here with the Play Action Podcast. I'm the host, Coach Johnson, wide receivers coach.
Head coach Jonathan Coddington. Good to be back for episode 2 here of season 2.
Yep, season 2, episode 2, coming along. But got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot on campus. We talked a little bit last week about just some of the workouts that our guys have been doing. I think another great part about the off season is just the opportunity to just dive in deeper to the team bonding and team building. Building us into the team we want to be, which obviously is becoming better football players, becoming better athletes, but also too just becoming closer together as a team. Great part about the second semester, first semester, especially for freshmen. Man, it's a whirlwind. You're coming to college, you're moving to a new city, you're starting college football, you're starting your college classes, like you don't even have time to breathe. We get to second semester, now you start to settle into your group of friends, the other rhythms and routines of life as a college student, but then as a team, we get to do a lot of other fun stuff together, which is always a great thing.
Yeah, and you say it all the time. Sometimes you wish football was a spring sport because we get them here in the fall. We teach them how we do things. We show them how we do things on part of the team. They get adjusted to campus. They get adjusted to each other. They develop those routines and those friendships and those type of things. And then we get to play football. But, like you said, it's great that we're putting a lot of time into it this spring. And it's going to prepare us for the fall when we get those new guys coming in. And, I tell guys all the time, because that pops up a lot in recruiting, is, I want to be a part of a brotherhood. I want to be a part of a team and be welcomed. We really kind of started, our culture, our team bonding really started to develop and come along, I say, after our bye week, the last 3 or 4 weeks of our season, ending the season. It all started with just practice, and then it started to carry over to the games in each practice. And it's great to see what it's becoming now, and to have some of the conversations with some of the guys. They get along with everybody on the team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, really from the get-go, first day of fall camp all the way through, tell our guys we're gonna reach the goals that we have set for ourselves. How fast are we going to get there? It depends on how many y'all hop on board and how quickly you guys hop on board. Like, we're going to win championships here, whether you guys are here with us for that or not. I don't know. It depends on how fast you guys get on board. Then same thing of becoming that tight-knit team. We're going to get there, but like the faster you guys get on board with how we do things, the faster we get to that, and then we get to reap the fruit and the rewards of having those tight-knit bonds, as we talk about loving one another, as we talk about having that contagious positive energy, that it's not just for you, it's for the people around you. And when you're encouraging someone, they're encouraging you, how much stronger those bonds form.
Yep, man. Like I said, that's what guys are looking for. And and when guys say that, I always ask guys, have you been at the same school for 4 years? They say, yeah. And traditionally, it's easy to have that brotherhood and that bond in high school because you guys play Little League, guys play for the same feeder team in middle school. So it's a lot easier, but at the college level, I don't know if recruits or prospects look at it from this angle. When you get to college, you're bringing guys from all across the map.
Yep.
And we got to put in that much time with each other in the fall, in a short period of time, on top of bringing a bunch of strangers together. So it is harder, but you got to take advantage of the time that we give you guys. And also take advantage of the time when you're out of practice, out of camp. I know you're going to be tired. I know it's going to suck, but you have to eat lunch. You guys can talk, hang out then. You guys go get treatment together. Or you guys can just hang out, sit down on the same couch together and just talk and get to know each other a little bit better. So There's definitely opportunities for those things, but it's just guys capitalizing and taking advantage of them.
For sure. And when you say it's harder to do, it's not necessarily like it's that difficult of a task, but it's like it just takes intentionality. Like it takes, and some of that is like we build in, and we build it in right from the get-go with, hey, we're going to have you in a family where you're going to get to know guys, really, really well. And, within that group that isn't even very many guys in your position group, but like within that group of 10 guys, y'all are going to eat dinner together during camp. You're going to spend some time doing these team activities. Some are going to be silly. Some are going to be fun. Some of them are going to, have some, conversation that comes with it, but you're going to dive into that deep. We're going to have this, training camp coming up a big brother and a little brother paired up, where an upperclassman with a freshman to say, hey, you've got somebody that you can bond with right there that, again, may not be your position, but it's somebody you can go to and just force that relationship because, if everybody's left to themselves, what we see is everybody's going to be on their phones, eating lunch. It's like, no, we're going to put away the phones and you're not going to have the phone out during meals because you're going to look a guy in the eye while we're eating and we're going to have family dinner together. We're going to talk. We're going to do these things, and it takes that intentionality, and we build that in all year round because that's what it takes to be successful. And then just asking our guys that it's like, hey, we're going to be a group of people that values these relationships. At other programs, you might just be a number. You might only be a football player, and that's it. But it's like when you're here, you're a valued member. Like you're an Anderson Raven, you're going to get treated like one. That goes for how you get treated on the field, obviously, but that also goes for, man, you've got access to teammates and coaches that are going to care about you and love you, and it doesn't matter if you're the starting quarterback or the fifth string, defensive end or anywhere in between. That, like, if you got stuff going on in life, you got coaches that are going to sit down and be with you. You got teammates that are going to give you a hug and walk alongside of you in this, and I think that is definitely a special thing.
Yeah, and especially like you talked about, it takes the intentionality from the players when they're here, but even on our end, through the recruiting process, about getting the right guys in here in the building to allow that to happen also, and then on that same token, it's about the guys that are already here who's been going through these things. They know what it's like, being a freshman coming in. Yeah, it's cool, that you kind of, all right, I'm here, but you got to learn the lay of the land. And the big brother, little brother program that we're, doing with our team, that is great because there's guys on this team before we got here who are going to be big brothers, but they didn't have big brothers here when they were freshmen coming in and teaching them how to be a part of the Anderson University football team.
Yeah.
So, and I think that, again, that's one of the great things that we've been working on since we've been here is preparing our juniors and sophomores to lead these freshmen and show them and let them know the do's and the don'ts.
Without a doubt. And yeah, for us, it's been, yes, we want good football players here. It's important. Everybody wants good football players. More than that, we need good people. And we've got a program right now that's filled with great people. We got 60 guys on campus that are going through our off-season program, doing team bonding activities together that are great dudes, and we're looking to add more great dudes, to that. And when you've got, it's tough when you've got 100 guys that are all coming in doing different things, but when you're all aligned on the same page, it's so much easier to be together because we're all focused, on this one goal, on this one way of doing things. And when we've got people that we like to do that with, love to do that with, man, it makes it much easier. So, we mentioned, recruiting. You mentioned kind of that in the process. We got some, we're finishing up our senior class, 2025 class. We're also moving ahead to the next class. Got some young dudes, listening that might be trying to get into that recruiting process. Kind of just take us through what's the start of this timeline look like?
Well, right now I think it's a great time. We just posted a couple weeks ago that we're now open to talking with our 26s and getting these guys, get in contact with them and start to develop their relationship. So one thing is definitely take advantage of the junior day opportunities and being able to start to develop the relationship before the summer. Because the summer is going to be fast paced. You guys are going to book a bunch of camps and all this type of stuff, but it's like this is when you kind of get to figure out, okay, of course you're going to go to your big camps. You're going to go to some mega camps, but this is when you kind of start to put an emphasis or start to circle some of these smaller schools that you've connected with, whether you were a sophomore or even a freshman. But now it's your time. Now it's time to hit those coaches back up and say, hey coach, I know it's been a while, but hey, how you doing? I'm a senior now. Here's my junior film, and let's get this thing going. But outside of that, start to figure out what major you want to study. Start to look for reasons to take schools off your list. We should be at the point now where we kind of understand this recruiting process, but everybody's different. Everybody doesn't all get the same knowledge. Seniors may not let juniors know how to get recruited, but look for schools with the things that you're interested in, from major, location, to even football culture. And then from there, again, start to take note of other things that are valuable to you. Once you figure out, okay, I want to go to this school because they have my major, or I want to go to this school because it's close to home. Let's start to unpack that team now. Let's get on campus. Let's get in front of the coaches. Let's hear what their program is about in more detail. And then if things kind of pair up that what the program is about and they match up to the things that you value, that you wrote down, You need to be hitting that school up all the time, figuring out what you got to do to be a part of their program, and then from there, when it's time to make that decision, or when you feel comfortable, then you can make that decision. But you know, the summer, when it comes to the summer, you know, again, you know, let's not all go to a bunch of big school mega camps, because every kid's in the country is going to be there, and you know, you might not get the attention that you want, or might not get seen or noticed, because everybody's looking at the top of the roster. You know, everybody's looking at the size, the measurables. You know, so do some justice and give yourself a chance to actually get recruited by going somewhere where you could stand out and stick out. So,
yeah, for sure.
Some small nuggets.
I agree. This process is about a lot of things. I think it's about two big things. You mentioned them both. Find the place that fits you best, and that is football. That is academics, you know, the major, you know, that's going to set you up for your career. That's how are they going to develop you? What's the culture like? That's the school atmosphere. It's the finances. Figure out what fits you best and build relationships, because that's the key to everything. That's the key to, you know, football on our team. You know, relationships are, you know, your family, your friends. Like, relationships are everything. Like, you need to get better at relationships and invest in those as well too, and find that places where you want to have those relationships with. And so, you know, for us, we have guys on campus, you know, junior days April, you know, March and April, you know, camps in June, lots of visit opportunities throughout the summer, throughout the fall, really just to get to know guys. And that's what, you know, why we do stuff like this too, just to let guys get to know us, let guys get to know about different parts of our program, different guys. And what I would say too, as you look at those relationships, is you're going to get hit up by a lot of coaches. You're going to find out quickly what's a coach's agenda. Does he want to get to know you, or does he just want to give you as much information as possible and hang up the phone, and or not even call you? If a coach ain't willing to call you on the phone and talk to you in person, that should say a lot. If he doesn't want to get to know you, just understand what his priorities are. It's like, we want to get to know guys. We want to make sure that we find the right fit of guy, you know, as well too, because you're not just number 24 on the football field who can run for 1,000 yards. Like, you're a valued member of the program, and you've got to be, you know, you've got to be and bring the right things, you know, to us as well. So find those relationships. Hit up our guys too. You know, find our guys on social media. Hit them up, especially ones that you know, as we bring on you know, Kannon here in a little bit. You know, he's a freshman quarterback from Michigan. You know, he's an education major here. Find the guys that study the same thing you want to study. Find the guys that are living the life that you want to live, and see, hey, what's it really like there at Anderson? You know, what is the culture really like? What the coaches say? Hey, what are practices like? Well, you know, what's Coach Johnson like? You know, in that receiver room. You know, what is he like when he's coaching those guys on the field? You know, what's the offense like? What's the defense like? Ask those questions to the players there, because they're going to give you the straight up answer. And you could ask the coach too. Make sure that those answers, you know, line up, or else it might not be the right spot.
Yeah. And personally, just, you know, each year we get to recruit, and it's the same process, but it's a different experience each year. And I could personally say I enjoy talking to guys who have their ducks in order. You know, personally, it's a turn off when you're just, I don't know what I'm looking for, just an opportunity.
Yep.
You can find an opportunity around the corner, you know, but at the same time, it's like, it just shows that you're serious. It shows that you understand what it's going to take to be successful at this next level, because I feel like some people kind of still view college as high school. You don't have to be here. You're choosing to be here. So make sure you choose the place where you want to be, and you feel comfortable. You feel you're going to be supported and successful. So not only go through this process to just get offers. I said, you don't need a bunch of offers. It looks cool. That's just a turn off also. And two, it could dilute your process. It could get in the way of that school that you should be at, because you're torn between juggling all these things. Look for ways to take schools off your list just as much as you're trying to get offers from all these other schools. You know? So like example, if you're a kid who wants to stay close to home in Indiana, central Indiana, you shouldn't be looking at schools down in Texas. You won't thrive in that environment if you want to be close to home. You're going to be close to home for a reason. So it's definitely a journey in the process, and like I said, I'm excited to get talking with the 26s, and more so, you know, I've been connected with a lot of 26s, you know, from last year, 2 years ago, so I'm excited to talk about them, talk with them, and their new roles that they'll be stepping into as seniors and leaders on their team.
Definitely. I guess the last thing, and we could obviously continue to give more and more, here. But the last thing I'd say too is, and it goes along with some of the lines of what you're saying. Like I want to get to know your all's personality as well too, and so I can't find that out through a text message. I want to get on the phone with you. I want to see you face to face. I want you to be on campus. I want to spend time with you and your family. See how you interact with mom and dad. See how you interact with our players, with other recruits that we've got on campus, with our staff. To want to see how you are in person. But I also want to get to know you over the phone if I can't see you face to face, because I know that some guys aren't comfortable talking on the phone. It can be a little awkward at times, but like, let's have a conversation there and let me see some personality come out of that as well too. Because if it's just one word answers, you're boring on the phone, and that I'm gonna assume that's what you're gonna be here. And we want guys that are gonna bring some life, bring some energy to our team. And so I think those are some important things. So if you if you're not comfortable on the phone, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but get comfortable with having those conversations, and just get comfortable with asking questions, answering questions, and going from there. Just be you, at the end of the day, be you, and find that program that you can align with. So. Well, we're excited to talk a little bit more with Kannon here, and bring him onto the set. Education major, freshman quarterback here. Let's go ahead and let's bring him on and have a good conversation with him.
All right, we're here with Kannon Duffing, freshman quarterback from Michigan. Welcome to the set.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. We obviously won't say where in Michigan you're from, because
we don't say that.
That's
here.
just a word we can't really say. But the good news is you're a Raven, and we've been you really enjoyed having you here. A little bit of a legacy situation. Obviously, you kind of follow in your brother's footsteps. Kind of tell us a little bit about how you knew about Anderson, and then kind of your journey to get here.
Yeah, so I knew about Anderson because my stepbrother actually went here. He played football. He was a linebacker. He played 3 years of football here, graduated last May in 2024, but he was unfortunately, not able to play in his last season because kind of broke his back. But so he wasn't able to play for you guys. But yeah, every time I mention his name around campus, people love him and talk about him, and they're like, "Oh, no way, you're Connon's brother," and I'm like, "Yep." So
yes, I am. Yes,
just trying to live up to the hype.
Yeah, for sure. I know professors say a lot of great things about him on campus. I mean, he did a great job here. He was an all-conference player. He was a captain. I won't call him soft for not finishing out his career, because that's a tough deal he had to go through. I was bummed that I wasn't able to coach him, so I actually recruited him out of high school when I was up at Concordia in Michigan. And I remember when he told me that he wasn't going to be coming to Concordia to play for us, and my response was, well, man, I hope you're going to Anderson, because that's the place that you need to go if you're not going to come play for me up at Concordia. And obviously he did. Had a great experience here as a student athlete, and glad that he's a Raven alum at this point.
Yeah, and I was able to go to many of his games, so that's kind of how I knew Anderson. I knew my ways around the campus before I even came here, just from going to all those games. So it already kind of feels like home,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we're going to follow you a little bit around this week. You guys, you're going to get to show us kind of what day of the life is like for you. But tell us, kind of on the academic side of things, what brought you here? What are some of your career goals?
So I'm pursuing a degree in secondary ed. And so the difference between primary and secondary is, if you go into secondary, you have to pick a specific subject. And I picked math just because it's my strongest subject in high school, and I feel like I could teach kids that the best than any other subject. So a few classes I'm taking right now is child and adolescent development and educational psychology, and those kind of like go together. Because right now we're learning about how, like, the different age groups of kids and how they learn, and like what they learn in those ages, and then I get to learn like the psychological part of it, of like how the brain works at those ages too. So those kind of like go together. And some career goals that I have is I want to go back to Michigan just because it's where I'm from, and I'd also like to coach high school football. So that was another reason why I wanted to teach, because it's kind of just nice to be a teacher, and then right after school you can go right to practice. It just works out that way. So yeah, I definitely want to be a high school football coach.
That's cool. Lamont, I know you've talked about this, I think, on here before. You might be the only person from Michigan who I think wanted to get out of Michigan and stay out of Michigan. Everybody else from Michigan always wants to go back. I don't know what it is about that state, but you're, I think, the only one I've ever heard say, let me get out of here.
I know for me, leaving Michigan, I got opened and exposed to a lot. Once I left Michigan, I got introduced to the outdoor life, which kind of sucks because I think Michigan got some of the best outdoor life, with the Great Lakes and the UP, and so it was just eye-opening. I got to meet a lot of people, and I enjoy meeting people and learning more about people from different areas and what they like to do for fun or what they like to do back at home, what's popular. So for me, it was just I get to meet more people the more and more I get to travel and move around. And that's one of the things I enjoyed about even coaching football. It sucks when you got to find a new job, but it definitely is cool to be able to move to a new area and establish some roots and get connected in the community and just meet people. I know that's always a goal of mine, is to find a townie or find a local and what's the do's and don'ts, what they say about this, or how does this flow around here. But that's great. So you kind of talked about working with the kids and everything. Dang, I messed up. We're gonna scratch all that out. I don't got nothing. I lost it.
All right, that's all right.
I lost it. But when you were talking about math, working with math, I keep thinking about the weight room situation, bro. Because he got the group of guys who cannot count.
Oh,
right place on there. So I'm like, Cannon, you gotta teach your group how to count.
I got a little peed off this morning because we were moving slow just because we couldn't count.
Yeah, so.
Your teaching career starts here and now. It's apparently starting, counting those plates in the weight room right there.
The guys out with how to count the weights.
Yep. I mean, so here's the deal. You need math. You're going to be teaching the next generation how to do it. And if it starts with plates, it starts with plates. So, interestingly enough, though, we were talking, with the leadership group, in our meeting, earlier this week about just about change and how change is important, and it's a part of life. Sometimes people don't want to change because they're just stuck in their ways of doing things. And when that comes to math, I know the way that you learn math, you told a story about, asking, your parents for help,
Yes.
And it's like math has changed so much. You don't even do math the same as when I was in school, when your parents were in school, now when you were in school. Man, even math has changed.
Yeah.
So by the time you get out of here, man, you might be teaching it in a different way than what you learned it.
It might be like that.
Yep, that's the way it goes. But
you kind of touched on your academic part, but how's your overall experience, being here as a freshman on the football team, being on campus?
I'd say campus is pretty nice for me. I came from a small town, so I kind of like the small college environment. You kind of get to know people more than you would at a big school. I feel like I can't really speak for big schools because I've never really been there, but I just know it's easier to have relationships with a lot more people when you go to a smaller school. At least that's just how I feel about it. So it's kind of like very family friendly, which is something that I liked when I was on the visit here. I even felt it when I visited here. And yeah, definitely being on the football team, that's fun. You get to know a lot of the guys, and already this winter I've gotten to know some guys a lot more than I did it in the fall, just because we're always together, whether that's in the meetings, the lifts, outside of the lifts, doing OFIs, opportunity for improvements, just stuff like that. So I definitely like the family-friendly environment that we have here at Anderson.
That's awesome. That's huge. Definitely, relationships are important. That goes for our team. That goes for anything in life. Life comes down to that. It's all about that, and to develop some good ones. School and college, you've got one of your high school teammates that's also on our team with us. But in college, it's different. You come to a team where you don't know very many guys, but to see everybody bond together, because we've got a lot of great dudes on this team, a lot of guys that are on the same path and going after the same thing. Awesome to see how close people can get, even though y'all are from different parts of the country, from different states, different backgrounds. But it's like when we all come together for one common goal, boom, everybody becomes really tight.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's cool to kind of just talk with people and listen to them, and listen to where they came from and what their background is, and maybe compare it to yours or not, and just learn about other cultures and stuff like that. And yeah.
Who's the best storyteller on the team? Who you like to listen to tell stories?
I mean, he's not on the team, but Pastor Carey says a lot of cool stories.
Yeah.
Best storyteller on the team. I don't know. I'd have to go with Aiden Navarre. He gives pretty good stories. He gets really emotional, but it's like happy emotional. It's not like sad emotional, but I think he gives the best stories.
Yeah, love it. So if you were, to get to pick a quarterback out of the quarterback room along with you, that you guys got to survive together in the woods, who are you picking to be on the journey with you?
Oh, I'm probably going to pick Luke Manning.
Yeah?
That's fair.
Just because, he's from Tennessee. He's a big hunting guy, so I feel like that would be good to have, especially for me. I never hunted as a kid, even though I always wanted to, but yeah.
Got him on your side. You just pick one quarterback to slap in the face. Who you going to slap? Free slap. You get to do it.
Oh, sorry, Carson, but I'm just going to have to pick you just because I'm always with you, so it's just easier for you to get on my nerves just because we talk the most out of everyone else. So
there we go. I like it. I mean, do we want to just do that right now? Carson, you want to come out from behind the camera? No? Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. So in the education department, you get the chance to go out and go get in schools pretty early on in your career here.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about some of those experiences.
Yeah. So this semester, I'm not able to do that just because the classes don't enforce it. In the fall, I will do it again, but last fall, the education as a profession class, I had to do 10 hours of observation, 2 hours of K through 2, 2 hours 3 to 5, 2 hours 6 to 8, and then 2 hours in the high school. And then I had to do 2 hours where I was maybe shadowing a teacher or an athletic director, anyone in administration, or maybe touring a school, and just stuff like that. And then on top of that, I had to do 10 hours of volunteer hours, whether that was like tutoring or just helping assist in elementary classes, which is what I did because some days they're short of people that help with the first grade rooms. So there was one day where I was in the school from 8:30 in the morning to 5:30.
Wow.
So yeah, it was definitely interesting, but it was like a good interesting. And I learned a lot while doing those volunteer and observation hours, so that was good. And it's just good to just get a feel for the classroom before you go into it.
Get some hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot more fun to come back and show up and exciting for the next day.
Mm-hmm. And as I keep going in the journey of being an educator, as the classes amp up a little bit, I'll end up being included in helping teaching the class, and eventually my last semester I'll be student teaching for a whole semester, so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So which you say you had to do K through 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and then high school.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite, least favorite, or challenging, non-challenging? I'm curious, man.
So favorite, definitely high school, just because that's what I want to teach, what I'm going into. Least favorite, I like kids, but when there's 30 to 40 of them in a classroom, I'd have to go with the 2 to 5. Was probably my least favorite. I have to give a shout out to all those elementary teachers. People don't really understand what they go through until you step in their job just for a day. I was like, yeah, they go through a lot, definitely.
Yeah, I had a little experience working with second graders, third graders. I was a substitute teacher for a little bit in between after GAing and trying to find that full-time job. So, I did elementary, I did middle school, and I did high school, majority PE.
Yeah.
But I had to do a third grade class, like a full class day, and I didn't know that they taught I forgot that they taught every subject throughout the day.
That's what. Yeah.
And I'm a criminal justice major. Ain't not that much math in criminal justice, so got some fractions and decimals, man. I had to turn the clock back.
Coach Monty said it's time for recess. Sorry, I have to go outside.
You got recess and
snack time.
Yep. So I definitely get it.
Mm-hmm. we may have to next semester get some of your volunteer hours over at the Coddington homeschool household there.
Oh, yeah,
teach us
definitely.
some kindergarten math then. So
I'd definitely like to help them out a little bit.
yes, without a doubt. Hopefully, I'm with you though. So I was in our education program, here as well too at AU, and so I'm a little biased towards that program. I think they do a great job, and being able to do the different levels, you find out really quickly where you actually want to teach, because I ended up I was PE and health, K through 12 was what I was certified, but the high school was definitely a lot more my wheelhouse than you could do the elementary for a day or two.
Yeah.
But man, do they wear you down, and it is what it is. So yeah.
Yes. You definitely got to be a patient person.
Most
For sure.
definitely. Kannon, so before we close out here, I got another important question for you. I need what's your best Coach Stape story?
It's not really my story. It's kind of a story that you told me once on how they met first. So they were at practice, and you guys were doing a ball security drill, if I remember that right.
Yes.
And there was one time Coach Johnson was punching and ripping at the ball and made Coach Stape fumble. And, for people who don't know Coach Johnson, he gets a little competitive, which is totally awesome.
Yep.
And, he was chirping a little bit at Coach Stape.
What was he calling him?
Okay, so he called Coach Stape, well, what did you say to him? You were like, hold on to the ball or something like that? Hold on to the ball, fat boy?
Yep, because he got upset, and he started complaining after I punched the ball. I forced a turnover, and I said, shut up, fat boy, hold on to the ball. And then he picked up the ball, and he booted it.
Yeah.
He booted it across the
Punted
field.
it.
He had a temper tantrum. So, at our previous school, we had a sign that said TNT, and that stands for Takes No Talent. And inside of the TNT, ball security is on there. So go touch the sign, fat boy. So I called him fat boy a couple times. I think that's what really ticked it off. And I had one of his best friend was in my receiver room at the time. And you know how it is. Coach may tick you off, and you may vent to your roommate. So it was great. But that was a great start to our brotherhood.
Yep, and then you guys ended up being good friends. So.
Oh yeah, yep. We won together. We working together. We share an office together. It's my dog.
Sometimes it happens like that.
So what's your favorite way to get under Coach Stape's skin?
Probably mention Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Probably mention how he eats Taco Bell. Sorry, Coach State, but you like Taco Bell.
Kannon, really appreciate you being on the podcast. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your story with us, and we'll be excited to get you back on again.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. What's up, guys? My name is Kannon Duffing. I'm a freshman here at Anderson University, and I'm on the football team. I'm one of the freshman quarterbacks. So right now I'm walking to class. I'm currently going to my Calc 2 class because I am a secondary education major, and because I major in secondary ed, you have to major in a specific subject. So I chose math because it's my strongest subject. But I just got out of my academic advising meeting because we are registering for classes this week. Shout out to Dr. Kuhn for being able to meet with me this morning. But as we get in class, I will show you guys what the classroom looks like and what we are doing in class today. All right, so we just got out of Calc 2. This is my boy Colin. He's on the football team. Today we talked about how to solve logistic equations and solve the initial value problem. We're in Cranert Hall right now. This is what the classroom looks like, and we're about to head to the 11 a.m. class, which is Child and Adolescent Development. It is in Decker Hall, so we will see you there. Just got out of my 11 a.m. class, Child and Adolescent Development. I'm walking with my boy Malik. He's on the football team, plays running back. He's also a freshman. He is a journalism major. So the last couple weeks, we kind of been diving into early childhood development, and we've been talking about the three main theories. The theorists are Piaget, Vygotsky, and today we talked about Eckerson. So we're in chapter 7 right now. Just started it today, so we kind of just started talking about his ways of how he thinks children develop in their early ages of 2 to 7. And now we're walking to the MP right now, about to eat some lunch, and then after that I will be going to my 1 p.m. class, which is in Decker again. And MP, I met up with some guys on the football team, and now I'm up here on the 3rd floor of Decker. It's kind of like in the little hangout area we have here. I'm sitting with PY, Preston Yoder. He is a receiver here at Anderson, sophomore, criminal justice major. I'm also sitting with Nick. He is our manager. He is a freshman here at AU and a sports rec major. So I am now walking to my 1 p.m. class, which is in Decker 350. I'll give you guys a good view of the room. My previous class, my 11 o'clock class, was also in Decker 350. So here we are. Decker 350. I have this class with Braden Bennett. He's a lineman here at Anderson. He's a freshman. He's also an education major. And Big Smoke, he is also an education major, and this is educational psychology. I just got back to my dorm room from my 1 p.m. class, Ed Psych. It was my last class of the day, so it is now around like 2:15, and I am officially done for the day classes wise. But after this, there is a team Bible study that we have at 6 p.m. It's optional. And then after that, there is a home basketball game at senior night. They're playing Bluffton. It's also a big game because if they win, they get to share for first place at conference. So a little bit about Ed Psych is today, it was mainly a review day. Because we have an exam on Friday, so we were kind of going over what Module 2 was all about and stuff like that. So today we kind of just went over the study guide as a class. He talked about the main stuff we should study, and then after that we started our Module 3, which is more about the brain. The main things we covered today were the 3 areas of the brain, which are the limbic system, the cerebrum, which is the largest part, and then the prefrontal cortex. So yeah, that was a little bit about my classes today, and God bless, go Ravens.